Sometimes matchmaking just doesn't go your way. You get stuck with teammates who just don't want to push in, so it's left all up to you. What's going on, ProGuides family? My name is Renox, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to push in without getting destroyed.
Before we start going into the actual tips for how you can become a better entry fragger, I want to help you understand what your objective as an entry fragger actually is. I see a lot of people who think that being an entry player is just about being able to get the first kill, which is partially true, but it doesn't cover every aspect of what an entry fragger is trying to accomplish. The three main objectives of an entry are to create space, gather information, and then get opening kills. The most important part of being an entry player is to be able to create space for your teammates. Creating space means that you're going out as far as you can without dying so that your teammates can have room to come out sight behind you. For an example, let's go back to the beginning of the video and let's look at the A site of Mirage. Look at this image and pretend you're the player in green. Your objective is to get as close to the default and fight the CT playing there. Even if you lose, that's perfectly fine because you'll have created space for your teammates. If your teammates came in behind you, the situation would look something like this, and they would be able to get a trade kill onto the player from multiple directions. When you create space, you are making it easier for your teammates to trade you and also allow your teammates to spread out and cover more parts of the bomb site. This is useful for the post-plant scenario because you won't be as bunched up towards the site when the bomb goes down. In CSGO, information is half the battle. By letting your teammates know where the enemies are playing, they have a much easier time coming out and taking the bomb site after you. You can also mention any suspicious smokes or aggressive plays that the CTs are going for to try and prevent you from getting onto the bomb site. Giving callouts that are precise and not excessive is very important here and can help your teammates make better decisions and win more rounds. The entry fragger role is a role that requires good communication, so make sure you're ready to use your mic when you're going into sight. Once you've created space and given your team information, they should be in a good position to finish off the rest of the round. With that being said though, if you do manage to get an opening kill, that's the icing on the cake. You can't expect to win all of your opening duels as an entry fragger, but when you do win them, you put your team at an advantageous position. Even if you don't win the aim duel, if your teammates trade you, your team is still in a favorable position since 1v1 trades always favor the T side. Before we continue, it's time for our question of the day. Today's question is, what is your favorite map to entry frag on? For me, it's gotta be the B site of Overpass. With all the different changes of elevation and variation of long to short range angles, it's a fun challenge and I've memorized all of the angles. With that out of the way though, let's get back into the video. One of the most underrated aspects of playing good Counter-Strike is having a strong mentality. By having confidence and visualizing your success in getting entry kills, you will actually increase your chance of succeeding. If there is a lack of confidence or belief that you will perform, then you've already defeated yourself mentally and become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Studies show that people who have more levels of confidence in their abilities will perform better than people who don't, even if they might be less skilled at what they're doing. As the first man in, you cannot be afraid of dying. You need to run in and tell yourself that you've already won before you even know where the enemy is. Nobody likes playing with a teammate that is constantly expressing a negative attitude, so keep your head up and just do your best. You won't be able to win every opening duel, so don't be scared of failing. Even if you happen to be a very skilled player, if you don't have good map knowledge, then you're sure to fall behind. Part of being an entry player is knowing all of the common angles and being able to pre-aim them while running into a bomb site. For anyone who doesn't know, pre-aiming is when you aim at a certain position that a CT would play, even if you don't know that they're actually there. Entry players have to use pre-aiming in order to give themselves a better chance of winning duels against opponents with an unknown location. In order to do this though, you need to know the map you're playing and all of the common angles that the CTs would play. If you're not familiar with all of the maps, don't worry, because there's a great set of community maps that you can use to improve your pre-aiming skills. If you go to the Steam Workshop, you can find a set of maps called YPrag. These maps have pre-fire practice modes that you can use to improve your map knowledge and pre-aiming abilities. You can pick a route into one of the bomb sites and learn all of the common angles that CTs play by killing bots over and over. Before you know it, when you play in a real game, you might find yourself winning a lot more duels because you're already aiming at where the opponents are gonna be. Heck, they might even accuse you of using wall hacks. Being accused of cheating is one of the greatest compliments you can receive, so you should wear that accusation with your head held up high, as long as you're not actually cheating, obviously. Don't cheat, it's bad. In order to get opening kills for your team, it shouldn't surprise you that you need good aim. Entry players usually have some of the fastest aim on their teams since they need to be able to quickly adjust their crosshair when clearing out bomb sites. If you want to follow this path as well, you're gonna need a lot of aim training. Here's a fun exercise that you can do to improve your aim in a way that might be useful for entry fragging. Go into the community training map aimbots and no-clip into the middle, where all of the bots are. Kill one of the bots with a headshot, and then do a 180 and kill the bot that is closest to being directly behind you. Repeat this process until you get around 100 to 300 kills. This little warm-up exercise will allow you to quickly adjust your aim towards areas that you aren't directly looking at, which is something that could happen when you're the first man into a bomb site. If you want to practice against real opponents, you can always resort to community servers and play some free-for-all deathmatch. While it's not my first choice for this specific practice, I know a lot of players enjoy using deathmatch to warm up and practice their flicking abilities against real players. So feel free to go for it if that's your cup of tea. The next tip is similar to having good map knowledge, but I feel like it differs enough to be its own topic. Good crosshair placement goes hand in hand with pre-aiming, and I want to show you the differences between the two. While pre-aiming allows you to get kills in common spots, crosshair placement is what you use in transition between those common spots. You don't want to exclusively pre-aim all the common angles, because if the enemy is playing in a position that you don't expect, it's very easy for you to get caught off guard and to lose that fight. When you're coming into a bomb site, you want to use your crosshair to trace along the wall so that when you're going in, you won't die to an enemy from an unknown location. It might be uncomfortable to get used to at first, but I promise that with enough practice, you will be able to clear bomb sites more effectively and not get caught off guard by anyone trying to play out in the open. An underrated aspect of aim duels is your movement. How you move before and during your engagement can have a much bigger impact on them than you might think. As some of you already know, your shots are more accurate when you can counter-strafe and stop your movement before firing a shot. You're going to want to implement this strategy when entry fragging as well. When you can, have your back to the wall and only move left or right so that you can easily stop yourself and take a fight. A great example of this is short A on Dust 2. You'll want to move slowly up, clearing every single angle one at a time, so that way when you do make contact, you'll have an easier time stopping yourself and hit a more accurate shot first. This one might take some practice, especially if you aren't comfortable with counter-strafing yet. If you do keep practicing though, I'm sure that you'll be able to get it down. A really important thing for entry fraggers to have is good communication, since you're going in first and you'll have to get the information that your team doesn't have access to yet. Because of this, you need to give clear and concise information while also speaking quickly. Knowing exactly where an enemy is becomes very important information for the rest of your teammates because their objective is to get a trade kill on the player that took you out that round. If you give bad comms or no comms at all, your teammates will be looking the wrong way and the player that killed you might get a second kill for free that they really shouldn't have. This will likely result in you losing the round, but also with your teammates being pretty frustrated, which is never a good thing. Make sure you're always communicating the enemy's position as quickly and detailed as possible to set up the rest of your teammates for success. The last tip on this list today is to use angles to your advantage. If you don't understand how angles work in this game, let me explain it to you. The further away you are from a wall than your opponent is, you'll have more time to see them before they see you. Likewise, if you peek an angle while still being really close to a wall, it's possible for an enemy to shut you down before you even know where they are. A good example of this is middle on Inferno. If you peek towards the pit while playing really close to the wall in front of you, it is possible for the player in pit to see half your body and start firing before you realize where you're getting shot from. With this in mind, you should try to peek out as far away as you can from the wall right in front of you. This way, you don't give your position away as easily and you'll have more of a fighting chance against the CT on the other end of the bomb site.
Well guys, that's all that we have for today's video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell in order to never miss out on an upload again. Stay safe, stay healthy, I'll see you all in the next one.